Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi guys, I am from group 5 and now I will explain about mapping SL in Philippines. As we know, the Philippines has long been recognized as one of the top destinations for international students who wish to study English as a second language or ESL. This is due to a variety of factors including affordable, duty-free, fluent English-speaking local and a culture is welcoming to foreign students. ESL teaching in the Philippines started to grow rapid and since the 2000 when the country started to attract students from ASEAN countries such as South Korea, Japan, China, and Vietnam. This popularity is supported by government policies that encourage international education as well as a good quality teaching with accent that are easier to understand compared to native speakers from other English-speaking countries. And the Philippines is known as one of the top destinations for English as second language, as learning and selling institutions are widespread in different parts of the country with the highest concentration in a few key areas. And I will show you the map, guys. So guys, this is the map. We have Metro Manila as the nation capital. Metro Manila is the hub for education and business, attracting many ESL institutions offering a variety of learning programs. In Cebu, the city is known as one of the leading education centers in the Philippines, with many ESL schools catering to international students. And 3. Davao, located in Mindanao. Davao has several educational institutions that offer ESL programs, for example, Ateneo de Davao University in Davao City.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Introduce my name is Putri Samad. So today I will explain about mapping EFL countries in Latin America and the Middle East. English as foreign language plays a different role in each country depending on factors such as education policies, globalization, and economic priorities. In Latin America and the Middle East, English is not the primary language for daily communication, but it is widely taught in school and often used in business and tourism. Below is classification of countries based on the level of English usage as a foreign language in both regional. The first, Latin American. In Latin American, English is generally not a dominant language in daily life. However, most countries have education policies that require English to be taught in school. A classification of countries based on English usage, high profession, with the used education, business, and tourism. Argentina and Chile, these countries have well-developed English education programs. Argentina in particular has the highest English proficiency in Latin America. Moderate proficient. English is taught in school but not widely used in daily life. Brazil, Mexico, Colombia, Peru, these nations have a large population and growing economics, making English an important skill for business and international relations. However, outside major cities, English proficiency remain limited. Low proficient. Bolivia, Paraguay, Venezuela, economy and social challenges have led the less emphasis on English education. In Paraguay, for example, indigenous languages like Guaraní are still widely spoken, reducing in need for English. 2. The Middle East. In the Middle East, English plays a more significant role than in Latin America, mainly due to economic globalization, the oil and gas sector, and high profession of experienced workers. Classification of country based on English usage. High profession used in business and education. United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and this is countries fulfill on regional level, making English the primary language of communication in business and international trade. Cities like Dubai, Doha, and Riyadh have with pets English usage. Moderator profession. English is widely taught but not dominant in daily communication. Turkey, Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon. English education is strong, especially in private school and university. Lebanon in particular has a multilingual education system leading to high English profession.
So in this section, I will explain you about exploring situation of English in Philippines, covering positive point of English growth in Philippines. English provided in Philippines has many positive, including business and education. In business, the Philippines is the main destination for overseas requirement, especially in business process outside business sector, or we call it BPO. Filipinos have good language and communication skills. The English language skill possessed by Philippines has been for many years. According to an article by Create Thinking Solution, Filipinos has been studying English for years at school, so they can only minimal training before working in office. For example, accounting staff from Philippine Excel can communicate financial data and accurately. Philippine agent can also use US and Australian speaking market, as they can communicate effectively with clients. Philippine agent can also serve all US and Australian speaking market, as they can communicate effectively with clients. With this capability, Filipinos can integrate with global business smoothly. Apart from that, their skill can also give clients confidence, build positive relationship, maintain communication, and build long-term business success with clients. For education, English is one of the official language in the Philippines. The English provided in this country also have positive impact on education by attracting many international students. Philippines can provide itself as a country that can be the best place to learn English in Southeast Asia. Over the last 10 years, the Philippines has experienced a rapid change in the number one of foreign students coming to the country to learn English. Initially, it was Asian countries, but now non-Asian visitors are coming such as Iran, Russia, Brazil, Libya, and Africa.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sela Army. I will explain about exploring the English language situation in ESL countries, specifically in Philippines, including ELT issue in the Philippines, challenges student, teacher, resources. In the Philippines, English is the official language and is widely used in education, government, and business. However, several challenges remain in the field of English language teaching ELT in the country. This issue affects students, teachers, and available resources, and addressing them is essential to improving the quality of English language education. Here is an exploration of the main issues. 1. Student challenges language diversity. The Philippines is home to over 170 languages, and although English is taught as a second language, many students come from areas where their native language is not English. This language diversity can hinder their ability to fully understand English, especially in rural areas where local language dominate. Limits comprehension. Although English is the national language, many students do not consistently use in their daily life. In rural areas, for example, English used outside of the classroom is minimal, making it difficult for students to practice and improve their proficiency. Low proficiency level. Many students struggle with basic English skills such as reading comprehension, speaking fluently, and writing effectively. This is due in part to a lack of language impression and tendency to focus on memorization rather than practical application and communication. 2. Teacher challenges limit professional development. While there are many English teachers in the Philippines, professional development opportunities are often limited. Teachers may lack exposure to the latest teaching methodologies or modern ELT practice, leading to outdated or ineffective teaching. Teach-based language proficiency. Not all teachers are fluent in English, especially in rural or remote areas. While teachers may speak and understand the language fluently, they may struggle to teach it effectively, especially when it comes to explaining grammar, pronunciation, or writing skills. Overworked and low-paid teachers in the Philippines, especially in public schools, often face large class size, lack of support, and low pay. This can affect the quality of education they provide, as they may not have the time or resources to focus on individual instruction or engage in ongoing professional development. 3. Resources and challenges. Lack of up-to-date learning material. Many schools in the Philippines, particularly in rural areas, lack access to modern teaching material. Textbooks and resources for English language learning are often outdated, and there is a dearth of interactive or multimedia resources that can adjust students more effectively. Limited access to technology. While urban schools may have access to modern technology, many rural schools lack the necessary infrastructure such as computer, internet access, or multimedia resources, which are essential to enhancing language learning through interactive platform, online tools or even exposed to a native speaker. Underfunded educational institutions funded for public school, particularly in rural areas, is often inadequate. As a result, schools struggle to provide adequate teaching material, create effective learning environment, or invest in teacher training program. Sekian, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hi, my name is Linda Gusniar L. Omon and I'm from class 4B. So here I will explain about English curriculum implementation in the Philippines or ESL country. So in private and national schools in the Philippines as an ESL English as a second language country, the implementation of the English curriculum varies between private school and national or public school due to difference in research, teaching method, and student exposure to the language. As you can see, I will explain first about private school. So private school include stronger emphasis on English. Private school in the Philippines often use English as the primary medium of instruction even in non-English subject. Jadi Jadi penekanan lebih kuat pada bahasa Inggris di sekolah swasta di Filipina sering menggunakan bahasa Inggris sebagai bahasa pengantar utama bahkan dalam mata pelajaran non-Inggris. The second is international curricula. Some private school following international curricula such as IB, International Baccalaureate, or Cambridge, which focus more on English proficiency. Jadi kurikulum internasional, jadi beberapa sekolah swasta mengikuti kurikulum internasional seperti IB, International Baccalaureate, and Cambridge. Yes, Cambridge yang lebih menekankan pada kemahiran bahasa Inggris. Next, the better research. Private school usually have more qualified teachers, modern teaching materials, and smaller class size, allowing for better English language learning. Jadi sumber daya yang lebih baik. Jadi di sekolah swasta biasanya memiliki guru yang lebih berkualitas, materi pengajarannya yang lebih modern, dan jumlah siswa lebih sedikit dalam satu kelas sehingga mereka bisa mempelajari bahasa Inggris lebih efektif. Jadi mereka lebih memilih dengan jumlah siswa atau siswi mahasiswa yang sedikit agar bisa lebih efektif pembelajarannya dalam bahasa Inggris. Last one of the private school is more exposure to English. Since many private school students come from English-speaking households, they have more exposure and practice in English communications. So, and now I will explain about national or public school. They include, first one is bilingual education. Public school follow the DepEd, Department of Education curriculum, where Filipino and English are both used as medium of instruction. Jadi pendidikan bilingual di sekolah negeri itu mengikuti kurikulum dari DepEd atau Department of Education, di mana bahasa Filipina dan Inggris digunakan sebagai bahasa pengantar. And the second one is limited research. Public school often have large class size and fewer qualified English teaching, which can affect the quality of English education. Jadi sumber daya yang terbatas pada sekolah negeri itu seringkali memiliki jumlah siswa yang lebih besar dalam satu kelas dan lebih sedikit guru bahasa Inggris yang berkualitas. Jadi yang dapat mempengaruhi kualitas pendidikan bahasa Inggrisnya. So, C is focus on basic proficiency. English introduction in public school focus on basic communication skills, grammar, and comprehension. But students may not have the same fluency as those in private school. Jadi pada fokus pada kemampuan dasar pengajaran bahasa Inggris di sekolah negeri lebih berfokus pada kemampuan komunikasi dasar, tata bahasa, dan pemahaman bacaan. Tetapi siswa mungkin tidak memiliki kefasihan yang sama dengan siswa di sekolah swasta like private school. And the last one from the national school is less exposure to English. So many public school students come from non-English speaking households, so they have a fewer opportunities to practice outside in the classroom. Jadi paparan lebih sedikit terhadap bahasa Inggris. Itu banyak siswa sekolah negeri berasal dari keluarga yang tidak berbicara bahasa Inggris ya, sehingga mereka memiliki lebih sedikit kesempatan untuk berlatih di luar kelas. Seperti itu. So, as you can see, in conclusion that I made is private school in the Philippines generally provide higher quality English education due to better research, smaller class size, and a stronger emphasis on English style. Meanwhile, a public school follow a bilingual system where English is taught as an essential subject but may not be as intensively practiced as in private school. Next slide is the implementation of the K-12 curriculum in 2013. So the Philippines extend its basic education system from 10 to 12 years by implementing the K-12 curriculum. This reform added 2 years to the basic education program. So implementasi kurikulum K12 pada tahun 2013 itu Filipina memperpanjang sistem pendidikan dasarnya dari 10 tahun menjadi 12 tahun dengan menerapkan kurikulum K12. Jadi reformasi ini menambahkan 2 tahun pada program pendidikan dasar menyelaraskan negara dengan standar pendidikan global atau internasional. Jadi kelompok pertama siswa kelas 11 itu dimulai pada tahun 2016. And teachers shortage in the Philippines. So the Philippines face challenge related to teachers shortage, particularly in public school. Like contributing factor, government initiative, kompetensi guru di Filipina meningkatkan kompetensi guru adalah prioritas untuk memastikan pendidikan berkualitas. Jadi pada pengembangan profesional DIP-ID menyediakan program pengembangan profesional berkelanjutan untuk membekali keterampilan pedagogis dan pengetahuan terkini. Setelahnya ada persyaratan lisensi. Jadi guru diharuskan lulus ujian lisensi untuk guru LIT untuk memastikan mereka memenuhi syarat nasional untuk kompetensi mengajar. Next, gaji guru di Filipina itu bervariasi ya, tergantung pada jenjang pendidikan, pengalaman, dan lokasi kerja. Jadi gaji guru di Filipina itu, rentan gajinya guru itu umumnya menerima gaji pada 20.000 peso or peso. I don't know how to say that. I'm so sorry. Peso or peso. 20.000 peso hingga 30.000 peso per bulan untuk tingkat sekolah dasar dan menengah. Jika dikonversi ke rupiah atau ke Indonesia, untuk mengonversi gaji tersebut itu kan kita perlu mengetahui nilai tukar saat ini ya. Jadi berdasarkan research yang data terbaru ini sekarang, 1 peso Filipina itu setara dengan sekitar 286,8 rupiah Indonesia. Dengan menggunakan nilai tukar itu, jadi perhitungan konversi gaji adalah jika gaji minimumnya tadi 20.000 peso kali 286,8 rupiah itu sama dengan 5.736.000, dan gaji maksimumnya kan 30.000 peso dikalikan dengan 286,8 rupiah, jadinya 8.604.000. Dan ada juga faktor yang mempengaruhi gaji seperti yang saya sudah sebutkan di awal. Itu kan ada beberapa faktor yang mempengaruhi besarnya gaji guru di Filipina. Jadi pertama itu kan ada jenjang pendidikan. Jadi guru di tingkat pendidikan yang lebih tinggi atau yang memiliki kualifikasi tambahan cenderung mendapatkan gaji lebih tinggi. Sedangkan di pengalaman kerja, guru dengan pengalaman kerja yang lebih lama biasanya menerima gaji yang lebih besar. Dan berdasarkan lokasi kerja itu, gaji dapat berbeda tergantung pada lokasi sekolah. Dengan sekolah di daerah perkotaan besar cenderung lebih menawarkan gaji lebih tinggi dibandingkan dengan daerah perdesaan. Selain gaji pokok juga, guru di Filipina juga menerima bagian tunjangan termasuk tunjangan transportasi, tunjangan perumahan, dan bonus tahunan yang dapat meningkatkan total pendapatan mereka.
My name is Suarni Fokaya. Here I will explain some solution that may refer to potential solution that can overcome the college vision in English as a foreign language EFL education, especially in Philippines. And different from other topic submitted by my friend, but this part is more focused on describing the problem or evaluating the advantages and disadvantages. There are several solutions that can be used, namely number one, increase English exposure. In essence, increasing English exposure focus on increasing student exposure to English, often taught immersive activities to improve their language skill. First example, a use of English in the environment, in the sense that we need to make a habit of speaking English in conversation, whether it is with family, friend, or neighbor. The use of English at the environment can also be from reading book, newspaper, magazines, which are in English, and participation in social activities, education activities such as courses or training. Watch movies or TV in English. We can watch movies or TV show in English, such as documentary or news TV serial that have subtitle or text to understand the dialogue. Number 2, improving the quality of teaching. This improvement focus on improving the quality and activity of teaching method and material, in contrast to other potential solution. Intensive teacher training, in the sense of training that focus on developing teacher ability to teach English. Training that involves hand-on practice and feedback from trainees. In addition, there is also the use of innovative learning methods, such as the use of technology-based learning method like online learning and the use of learning apps. There is also the use of project-based learning method, such as the collaboration or virtual reality. Number 3, providing incentives and motivation, such as starting from award for outstanding student, and support from government and society. The purpose of providing this incentive and motivation is to increase student motivation and enthusiasm and improve the quality of English education. Well, that's all from my explanation. Thank you.